Oh, snap! Marvel Snap has been absolutely Thanos snapped out of the United States. A law banning Marvel Snap has been enacted in the US. Unfortunately, that means you can't use Marvel Snap for now. Rest assured, we're working to restore our service in the US. Please stay tuned. Second Dinner, the game developers, have said, unfortunately, it's unavailable. The outage is a surprise to us and wasn't planned. Marvel Snap isn't going anywhere. We're actively working on getting the game up as soon as possible, and we'll update you once we have more to share. Apparently, this was a surprise to them. They had no idea. Well, I don't believe that for one moment, and we're going to talk a little bit more about why I think that. We're also going to look at how the community has responded, what has Ben Brode got to say about all of this, and we're also going to dig into the past and look at how and why I believe it's very unlikely that Second Dinner had no idea that this was coming. Now, this post, a Discord post, was shared by Dexter on Twitter. Shout out to Dexter, a great Marvel Snap content creator. For anyone saying Second Dinner can get around this quickly, no, they can't. This is the title of the bill that shut it down. The Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act. An act to protect the national security of the United States from the threat posed by foreign adversary controlled applications such as TikTok and any successor application or service and any other application or service developed or provided by ByteDance or an entity under the control of ByteDance. For those that don't know, Second Dinner are the game developers of Marvel Snap. That's with Ben Brode, the other game developers, the art directors. But then you've also got Newverse, who are the publishers of Marvel Snap. Newverse is the gaming division of ByteDance, and ByteDance are the company that own TikTok and have strong connections, supposedly, to the Chinese government. And TikTok and all other apps and services provided by ByteDance have today been banned in the United States of America, which absolutely does include Marvel Snap. What's Ben Brode got to say about all of this? Well, unfortunately, Ben made me do something I would not wish on my biggest and worst enemy, and this morning he made me download a Threads account because he's on Threads and pretty much nowhere else. He says, for what it's worth, I'm hearing that VPN software will allow you to continue playing Marvel Snap in the meantime, as long as you pretend you're from Canada or something. What? Ben? That's not a very good idea to say, mate. This isn't just some little oopsie daisy, we accidentally remove your app from the App Store. This is a federal government law saying that your app is endangering Americans, mate. The only thing missing from this post is as long as you pretend you're from Canada or something, lol, LMAO, ruffle, ha 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 ha. No, Ben, no. That is not a very wise thing to do, mate. You're going to get yourself into trouble. Please delete that. Honestly, at this moment in time, I think it would be wise to remove your access to your Threads account and instead give control of your Threads account to the AI Ben Brode from the latest Marvel Snap adverts.
On reveal, compare the power of the top 3 cards of both decks. If your total is higher, plus 6 power, truly a god of war. Absorbing Man, Wong, Arnim Zola, and Odin will love him very much.
Yeah, that is right. There is an AI Ben Brode in the latest Marvel Snap adverts. Absolutely outrageous stuff there. Very, very odd. I mean, it certainly sounds like an AI, doesn't it? Back onto the topic at hand, though. A mod on the Discord. If you live in the States, the US banned all apps owned by ByteDance and Snap. Just so happens to be a part of that since Newverse owns it. Going over to how the community has reacted. On reveal, discard US player base. I don't know what to say. Hella res, please. Well, there goes countless hours and a surprising amount of money. And this user says it's really poor of them to allow US users to continue making purchases knowing this ban was coming. They didn't even post a news update as this was impending. Wow. Second Dinner, of course, have released their statement, and over to what the content creators had to say about this. Regis Kilbin, oh hey, Marvel Snap, the game I play for a job, just got banned in the United States because of its corporate connection to TikTok. No idea when it'll be back. Cool. He also said, I can't wait for Snap to mail me a photocopy of a Pixel Captain America variant and 100 tickets for Dave & Buster's as compensation for the app being banned. Cozy here responded to this tweet with 72,000 likes On the plus side, this is probably the most press Marvel Snap has gotten since launch. Too bad it's in the US government declares it a national threat section. Now, all of this got me thinking back to an article released over a year ago, which was about ByteDance shutting down Nuverse as a gaming division of its company, and Marvel Snap also responded directly to that. So I've got an article from November 27th, 2023. So over a year ago, ByteDance says to restructure Nuverse in retreat from gaming business. TikTok maker to tell staff on Monday it's going to ask them to stop working on unreleased games. It's going to look for ways to divest from launched titles. Now, you can read this article at your own leisure, but the general gist is that Nuverse performance has not been very good, apart from Marvel Snap being its most successful game. Now, at the time, Marvel Snap actually released a statement on Twitter at the same day, November 27th. Dear Snappers, some of our players have expressed their concerns regarding reported structural changes at Nuverse. We wish to thank you for your concern and assure you that regardless of any changes at Nuverse, Snap will continue to operate and flourish in the future. Well, that's a bit awkward because it's certainly not operating in the US right now. And it's interesting that it comes back to its relationship with Nuverse. Now, this was over a year ago. There was a lot of rumors at the time that maybe Marvel Snap was going to look for a new developer. So why has that not happened? Well, if we go back to the text in the lawsuit, it says that any other application or service developed or provided by ByteDance. Well, this game was developed by ByteDance. So even if Second Dinner were to get a new publisher, is it possible that even if Second Dinner were to remove Nuverse as a publisher and bring in a new publisher, would Marvel Snap have been banned anyway? I think it's arguable that it could have, because ultimately this was a service developed by ByteDance. Developed is past tense, right? It's not a being developed. It's a past tense. So I think that you could make a case based off of this that even if Marvel Snap were to have gotten new developers, like was being rumored that they would, that this lawsuit would have just kind of screwed them anyway. And perhaps that's why we haven't seen Second Dinner pair with a new developer, despite this news story being over a year old. Now, a bit more of community response. Second Dinner should have warned us. I might be harsh here, but it's a scummy move from Second Dinner. I'm pretty sure they knew it was coming, and they decided to bat an eye and milk us at the last second. Now, in this, someone linked another Reddit post from 10 months ago, End of Life Space. Congress planning on banning Marvel Snap by accident. The US House just passed a bill to ban TikTok unless ByteDance sells the app. The wording affects all of ByteDance's apps, including Marvel Snap. And this was 10 months ago. And look, now there's people from 6 hours ago reacting to this 10-month-old post, which really begs the question, was it really a surprise to Second Dinner? Was it really? You had no idea that this bill that came through 10 months ago, which basically categorically said that your app was not going to be able to run, and it really was a surprise to you? I don't buy it for a second. And that poses a bigger question. Why would they not tell their audience? And it comes back to what, in my opinion, sort of summarizes how Second Dinner has treated its community. It's treated its community overall as a cash bag where it just wants to rinse for every single penny. Now, listen, I understand games are made to make money, but Marvel Snap really does take the biscuit. And for me, it was a big reason I had to move away from creating Marvel Snap content, because it was a very difficult game for me to support when it treated its community in the manner that it did. And for me, this is a shining example. I feel as though they knew that this was at the very least a serious possibility, but they decided to say nothing and try and make as much money as they could before it happened. And perhaps this is why their systems that they've implemented, with the lack of series drops, with all of this stuff, which is just try to milk their audience for as much money, it's kind of alienated a lot of their audience. But ultimately, if they knew the game was going to get shut down in the US, it becomes like, okay, we've got 2 years to make as much money as we possibly can before the game is removed from the US. And it kind of means, for me, it would suggest that they knew this was coming even more. Like, a lot of their very questionable, short-sighted progression systems, it's almost like this explains it in some way. Like, I think that when Marvel Snap came out, I've been on record saying it's the best designed game I ever played. It has the best new player onboarding experience, certainly for a card game that I've ever played. It had incredible progression systems in the early game where you're unlocking the cards in Series 1, Series 2. Series 3, it slowed down, but it still felt relatively rewarding. And then they introduced Pool 4 and Pool 5, and it got like a little bit awkward, but there was still consistent series drops. And then at one point, they just removed that consistent series drops. That added in this like cash system or whatever it's called, where you have a little token, and it was absolutely horrible and short-sighted. There's no catch-up mechanics in the game, so if you've not played for a while, you just can't get back in, and it's like a FOMO to just keep people trapped and keep spending money. I don't know, maybe this explains all of that short-sighted thinking from what went from a company that had the best progression systems in any card game ever, in my opinion, to the worst. I just don't know, man. I don't know. This stinks all a bit to me. I don't think Marvel Snap's coming back to the US anytime soon. I really, really don't. I don't think this is going to be a simple fix. I could be wrong. I'm not an expert. But based off everything I've looked at today, I don't expect Marvel Snap to come back anytime soon in the United States of America. And I worry about what impact that's going to have on the game's long-term future. I want to take this opportunity to thank many of the staff at Second Dinner for working so hard on a game, even though I've been quite rude about some of their monetization policies. These things are decided at the top. And I know that there are a lot of game developers, like art directors, gameplay designers, and all these sort of people that have poured their heart and soul into this game. And I'm sure this must be absolutely heartbreaking for those kinds of people. And I want to just give a big message of thanks from the community for people that really did love a lot of aspects of this game. Even though I've been, I feel like quite a lot of the monetization policies are quite distasteful from Second Dinner. It's not those people making the decisions. So I just want to pass on from the community our commiserations to those people that have worked so hard. And I also want to wish well all the other content creators that are still making Marvel Snap content and hope this doesn't impact them too negatively. I also want to Ben Brode as well. I hope that he can resolve it. I actually do like the guy, even though I've been a little bit rude about him today. But I'm going to leave the video by saying another Ben Brode AI advert to close this one out. Take it away, Ben.
Sentry. On reveal, add a -8 power void to the right location, but you can't play this at the right location. Usually people think of Annihilus, handing over the void to your opponents to make them annoyed. But if you have Cersei, the result will become full of unknowns.
Knowns. Okay, what's that? You want one more AI Ben Brode? Okay, take it away, Ben AI.
Victoria Hand, the deputy director of the Dark Avengers. She makes every card created in your hand even stronger. Pair her with creator cards like Nick Fury, Mirage, or Snowguard for unstoppable synergy. Victoria Hand proves that strategy is power.
That is definitely AI Ben Brode, isn't it? All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Give it a like if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more. We'll be back with more updates on the future of Marvel Snap when we know it. Cheers.